does either dog come up and nudge you with their nose or paw at you when they want you to pet them? Tanner does. Okay. She hasn't been here long enough. She might end up doing that later on. When a dog does that, it's basically giving you an order. Pet me. Pay attention to me. If you pet him, then you're telling him you are the boss of me, because when you tell me what to do, I do it. So that gives him the impression that he has more authority than he actually has. With authority comes responsibility. With responsibility comes pressure. So I don't want the dogs to think that they have the same authority as us, because that can stress them out. Now, when it comes to petting our dogs, a lot of us, we don't even think about it. We just pet our dog for no reason. I consider petting a dog, sit, our way of paying the dog. Now, right now, if the dog jumps up and tells you to pet, and you pet, then the dog's giving you an order, and you're saying, yes, you are the boss of me. So instead, when the dog nudges you, ask her to sit, sit, and then pet her and say the word sit. Now, when a dog is proud about what it's done, its nose is parallel to the ground or tilted upward. So if the dog actually, if I pet a dog on top of the head, a lot of times they have to look down, and that's an insecure body mechanic. If we get him to sit, and then we pet him under the chin,
like that?
Under the chin. So then we facilitate that nose up. Now I feel good about doing things that the humans want. I call these desired behaviors. So then I sit in front of the humans. They really like that. I lay down in front of the humans. They like that. I come to them. These are things we want them to do, and the more that we help them practice it, the more inclined to do so.
Sit. Sit.
Now cup your hand like you have a marble in it, and then go,
sit.
There you go. Now
sit.
Scratch underneath and say sit.
Yeah, sit.
Perfect. So what I would recommend you guys do, and this is going to be really hard, is have a new rule that no one is allowed to pet the dogs. The only way to pet the dogs, sit, is if they do something to earn it first. Yeah. This helps the dogs see and identify, I have to listen to the humans. I can't tell the humans what to do, but if I listen to what the humans tell me, then I get a reward. After a while, what will happen is the dog's are going to come start sitting in front of you like she just did there, saying, I'm sitting, shouldn't you be rewarding me? And we should as much as we can.
So if they sit without you saying sit, you should say sit and
I call that passive training. That's actually what I was just going to get to next. So if the dog sits down or does anything that you want, and within 3 seconds you pet them and say the command word, after a while, and every time I sit, I get a scratch and I hear the word sit. Sitting is good. I'm going to start sitting more often. So the more of this that we do, the better. What I would suggest you guys do, though, is have a watchword. I usually like to use recommend the word paycheck. But when it comes to children, sometimes I tell children, instead of petting is our way of paying the dog, petting is our way of saying thank you. So from now on, we're going to ask the kids are going to ask the dog to do something and then pet it for doing so. We're creating a situation where the dog has to earn it from us, and the currency is obedience. And then we get them competing to be obedient. Now, if you come in the room and you see somebody petting the dog's standing, you say paycheck, that person takes their hand off and says sit. As soon as the dog sits, we reach over and we pet the dog and say sit. And then we can say to the person, actually I asked her to sit, before I came in the room, and then she stood up, and I continued to pet her. So once the dog has done something, changed her state, then you can pet her for as much as you want. Now, I like to use the hand motion I just showed there. I'll do it one more time. I don't have anything in my hand now. Sit. Now, it's best if I would have something in my hand for the first week. So every time she does that, she gets a reward. But for a dog, this looks like I have something. And both dogs are now tracking my hand, even though there was nothing in it a second ago. So if I always call the dog like this, I have a 45-degree bend at my elbow, and I keep it slightly above their head with a flat hand. Not completely flat, just slightly cupped. But if I close my hand, that says no. This means I have something for you. Now, if she tries to jump up, my way of saying no is to bend away. Then she sat down, I immediately lower it, sit. And as soon as her butt hits the ground, I lower my hand. All she has to do is tilt her head down and lick, and the treat is in her mouth. The second the treat touches her lips, she should hear the command word. So petting with a purpose, that was great, is the best, in terms of return on investment. You will find nothing else in your dog's life that you can do that will have as big an impact on the dog. And if you get in the habit of doing this hand motion, the dog comes over here and you can be talking to her and like, okay, I want you to go get me an iced coffee, put 2 Splendas in it, and I just had 2 conversations simultaneously.
Tanner, come.
Not only that, but Tanner, sit. The more that we do this, the easier it is to get her to sit in other situations.
See, Tanner doesn't even come.
We're going to fix that here in a second. That's petting with a purpose.